It's bad enough that those who seek some college learning are being hammered with severe debt thanks to the student loan program. Add to that the cost of books. They still use books, right? Computers, housing, and of course the need for a little blowing off of steam between midterms. But here's a cost we hadn't heard about before, at least not widely heard about, the health care option. Word to the wise, let's welcome in the campus correspondent for campusreform.org. Lauren Clark joins us on MidPoint. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on today.
Pleasure. Let's figure this out now, because we did a little research here and we found out that this actually does happen at a lot of colleges here, but we hadn't heard about this specifically. At Cornell, students now have to pay an extra $350 who don't take their health insurance. It seems like this is another charge. What happens if the student has their own health insurance here?
Right, that's another issue, is pre-existing health coverage, such as from your family or elsewhere, does not count for this. So the school is offering students an ultimatum. They either have to purchase the $2,000 on-campus health coverage, or they are forced to pay a mandated, non-refundable $350 fee, a fee which isn't covered by any type of financial aid, so it's out of their own pockets.
Now, $350, is that a one-time charge?
It's per semester.
Per semester, so then we're still basically, it's what, $1,400 a year then? If you're going 4 semesters.
I can't do math either, it's okay.
But but I'm just saying, yeah, at 4 semesters a year, if you go normal 4 semesters, that's $1,400 a year right there. I mean, so we're talking $1,400, $2,000, $300. How do they get away with this?
Right, and as a student myself, I completely understand this whole frustrated sentiment of how these college fees just keep on adding up, and it just does nothing to benefit students in the long run. Previously on Campus Reform, I published a story about my university implementing an athletic fee of making sure that students who, if they wanted to go to the games or not, so make sure that everyone can come in for free, which angered a lot of students at my school, Arizona State.
Now, what about the Cornell president who says the university is, quote unquote, struggling to keep pace with increasing healthcare costs? All right, well, that would seem to make sense because healthcare costs are pretty high, but doesn't it still come down to the fact that if you're covered, why are you paying them? Or does the school not able to collect from your insurance? There's a disconnect here somewhere.
Right. The interesting part about the president's sentiments is that currently Cornell is creating a $55 million health services building. So it's no wonder where this money is coming from. They're using students as a piggy bank in order to draw money from their pet projects. This has nothing to do with caring about students or making sure they have adequate health coverage.
Now, there's no real choice on this. You either do or you don't, right? This is already in effect, and you really have to take it one way or the other, right?
Right.
Okay, now we're looking too at a lot of other schools. The University of Pittsburgh has a wellness fee. Harvard has fees. Portland State has fees. There's all sorts of colleges that actually have them. So what makes this one really any different than the others, or is this just a trend that's starting?
This is definitely a trend, absolutely. But what is also an exciting trend is that Cornell students are rising up against this ridiculousness. The students that we talked to at Leadership Institute's Campus Reform were absolutely outraged that they said enough is enough with all of this money. We understand we're having to pay something for college, but this is just insane. They've garnered to social media, creating hashtags. They've staged in sit-ins with their president and protests. So they're completely not happy about this treatment.
Has Cornell answered back the question about what happens if you have your own health care and it's taken care of everything instead of having to pay? Have they come up with a response to that?
Unfortunately, Cornell doesn't seem interested in talking to students or solving this problem at all. From our coverage of this story from the date that it was published, they haven't come or shown any interest to talking with students. In fact, the president even point blank said this is his last year here, protesting is fruitless, and that this isn't his problem, so he has no interest in trying to solve these issues.
Welcome to the real world, college students, because even if you have your own health care, guess what? You're going to have to pay for the health care. Someone else demands that you pay. It seems like I might have heard that somewhere before, but I'm going to go ahead and just let that go for the moment. I want to remind everybody that your work is at campusreform.org, a chance to look at what is happening on the campuses. It's a fascinating website. I catch it from time to time. We'll have to continue to look at what's happening on the campuses as well. Lauren Clark, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck following the story.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Coming up next, the land where the special people reside. You knew where that is. The bus to Outland leaves right after this.